In this episode, Fleo faces Fenris directly. Fleo doesn't want to die in vain, so he tries all the magic he can. Fenris attempts to attack Fleo, leaping towards him. The first magic Fleo uses is Meteoric Leap, which allows him to dodge Fenris's attack with incredible speed. Fenris tries to turn around and attack Fleo again, but at the right moment, Fleo activates Earthen Rampart, causing the ground in front of him to jut out and protect him from Fenris's attack. Fenris becomes very frustrated. At that moment, Fleo activates another magic, Whirlwind, trapping Fenris in a large wind vortex. Quickly, Fenris activates Nearby Relocation, making her appear right behind Fleo and immediately attacking him. Fortunately, Fleo quickly activates Gravitation, causing Fenris to crash into the ground and become immobilized. Fenris struggles with all her might against the magic, but her body remains unable to move. Seeing Fenris continually trying to break free, Fleo becomes confused and asks the voice assistant for a suitable magic suggestion. The voice assistant suggests a magic called Subjugation Magic. This magic serves to bind the target and control their will. Fleo doesn't want such a magic and rejects it, asking for another suggestion. Fenris then tries to activate Gravity Reduction, but that magic gets cancelled. The voice assistant again suggests using Subjugation Magic. Fleo rejects it once more. Fenris tries to activate another magic, Nearby Relocation, but it gets cancelled again. Fenris repeatedly tries to activate other magic, but all their spells are successfully cancelled. Fleo remains confused by the situation and thinks of the best way forward. He still refuses to accept the voice assistant's suggestion to activate Subjugation Magic. Fenris, who has been trying to break free from Fleo's gravitation magic by attempting various spells, but always failing, is now starting to run out of magic energy. Now Fenris's body lies weakly, and she says that she surrenders. For her, there is no light for a warrior who can no longer fight. She asks Fleo to just finish her off. Of course, Fleo refuses. Fleo immediately deactivates his gravitation magic. Naturally, Fenris is surprised, as she is actually a warrior from the demon race, who are enemies of humans. But Fleo intends to let her live. Fleo says that he doesn't care about the status of humans or demons. He just doesn't want to kill a surrendered opponent. Fenris is stunned to hear this answer and then transforms into the form of a woman. Seeing this, Fleo is immediately shocked because Fenris's human form is completely naked. Fleo quickly covers her with his jacket. While averting his gaze, Fleo says that if Fenris promises not to fight humans anymore, he will let her go. Fenris hasn't answered the offer yet, but seeing her in that state, Fleo decides to take some clothes from his bottomless bag. Before he can find them, Fenris suddenly collapses. Fleo becomes worried, but the voice assistant tells him that Fenris is just asleep, recovering her magic energy. Fleo feels relieved, realizing that Fenris is not seriously hurt. That night, Fleo sits by the campfire, studying the magic he possesses. He is shocked and confused about why he has so many powerful spells. Not long after, Fenris wakes up from her sleep. She is in a tent near where Fleo is sitting. Fenris peeks outside and sees Fleo. She thinks about how she is resistant to magic, yet couldn't do anything against Fleo. Initially, Fenris believed that humans were fragile beings. It turns out Fenris's magic energy has fully recovered. She then steps out of the tent and approaches Fleo. Fleo asks if Fenris is alright. Fenris replies that she is fine. She also knows that Fleo used recovery magic on her while she was asleep. Fleo confirms this. Fenris then looks closely at Fleo's face and says that typically, someone would kill her while she was weak. Fenris then vows not to fight humans anymore and also wants Fleo to become her master because she feels indebted to him. Of course, Fleo refuses, but Fenris persists, her eyes sparkling, and she pleads with Fleo earnestly. Fleo remains firm in his decision to reject Fenris's offer. Fenris feels she has no other choice and brings out her claws, threatening to end her life if her request is denied. Panicked, Fleo finally allows Fenris to follow him. Hearing this, Fenris's face lights up with joy. Then, while looking at the campfire, Fleo tells Fenris that he actually comes from another world. He was summoned as a hero candidate, but because he didn't have great abilities, he was exiled since the kingdom couldn't send him back to his original world. Fleo explains that he changed his appearance on purpose because he was afraid of being targeted by the kingdom. Now, Fleo is confused about what to do, and if Fenris follows him, he worries that she will suffer. Fenris responds that it doesn't matter because she and her race have a rule to live for the master they choose. Fenris then vows to be loyal and live with Fleo forever. The scene then shifts to the Clyrode Royal Palace, where the hero is seen facing the king. The king asks the hero about the troops accompanying him, who apparently were mostly killed by the enemy. The hero excuses himself by saying that the soldiers accompanying him were very weak, that they panicked, and their formation broke just by seeing the magic beasts. Without realizing it, the troops were wiped out. The hero claims that he tried his best alone to save many people. The hero emphasizes that the king should be grateful that some of the troops were saved by him. The king does not immediately believe the hero's words and asks one of the soldiers who accompanied him. The soldier says that on the battlefield, the hero was actually at the very back, and when the soldiers were fighting, he ran away. When everything was chaotic, he blamed everyone else. Hearing these facts, the king can only be astonished and remain silent. The hero, walking back to his room, complains that for a month he has been training, but his strength status hasn't increased at all. He thinks that with such a status, it will be easy to fight humans or magic beasts. But if he faces a slightly stronger magic beast, he won't be able to. While the hero is troubled by this, a woman named Suya, the hero's servant, approaches him. The hero then invites her to go out and have fun with him using the kingdom's money. The next morning, Fleo and Fenris walk together towards the Adventurers Guild to find a mission that can earn them money. While walking through the market, Fleo gets an idea to pretend to be a married couple with Fenris. That way, no one will suspect them when they walk together. Blushing, Fenris gladly accepts the idea with great happiness. She immediately takes Fleo's arm and leads him into the Adventurers Guild. In the guild, the first thing Fleo does is register Fenris as an adventurer as well. The receptionist then asks for Fenris's name. She almost says her real name, but luckily, Fleo interrupts and quickly says that her name is Riss. After the registration is complete, Fenris apologizes to Fleo for almost making a mistake. Fleo forgives her, as now no one else knows Fenris's human form. Fleo explains that from now on, Fenris must live like a human. Not long after, there is the sound of a bell ringing. It turns out there's an emergency, as a colony of psycho bears is approaching the town from the north. Everyone in the Adventurers Guild is terrified because, according to rumors, these psycho bears wiped out the hero's troops. There will be a tenfold reward for anyone who can defeat these psycho bears. Fleo is actually interested but feels incapable since even the hero's troops couldn't handle them. Hearing this, Fenris decides to face the bears alone. If Fenris wins, it will prove how strong Fleo is, who had previously defeated her. The two use teleportation magic to get to the location. When they arrive, they see an empty house that, according to a guild employee, they can use. Fleo decides to use this house as a base to slaughter the psycho bears. He also feels it is a perfect moment to test some of his magic. Both of them become very excited to fight the psycho bears together and claim the reward. Suddenly, they hear someone screaming. They both rush towards the source of the sound. From the top of a hill, they see several psycho bears surrounding 4 knights. A knight named Blossom appears to be injured on her arm. Balarosa orders her to retreat, but she insists on fighting and collapses, unable to withstand the attack from a psycho bear. As a psycho bear moves to attack the helpless Blossom, Fleo activates lightning bolt magic to paralyze several of the psycho bears there. The knights are stunned and still don't understand what is happening. One psycho bear that wasn't hit by the lightning bolt jumps, intending to attack a wizard named Ilano. Luckily, from the top of the hill, Fenris jumps down and stomps on the psycho bear, paralyzing it. Fleo comes down from the hill, and the knights thank him profusely for saving their lives again. They then ask about the identity of the woman who helped Fleo defeat the psycho bears. Fleo doesn't want Fenris's true identity to be revealed. Fleo says that her name is Riss, and she is his traveling companion. Fenris looks disappointed because Fleo did not introduce her as his wife. Unexpectedly, another psycho bear appears right behind Fenris. The psycho bear tries to attack Fenris from behind, but with one frightening glare from Fenris, the bear instantly becomes weak and falls. Fleo assumes that the bear seems to understand that it cannot defeat Fenris. The psycho bear then immediately kneels and begs Fenris for mercy. Fenris then has the idea of making the psycho bear her subordinate. Fleo corrects her, saying she probably means a pet. The knights, of course, are shocked to hear this. Fenris reasons that since psycho bears are wild animals capable of fighting the hero's troops, taming one might be a noteworthy achievement. Fleo agrees, thinking it would prevent the psycho bear from attacking others again. Fleo then uses restriction magic on the psycho bear to prevent it from going berserk again. He also uses shapeshift magic to make the bear small and cute so they can carry it around easily. They name it Cybe. The knights can only gape at Fleo and Fenris's antics. Not only did they defeat the Psycho Bears in one attack, but they also turned one into their pet. Balarosa then speaks to Fleo, saying she has something to discuss. They all go to the house they are using as a base. In one room, Balarosa thanks Fleo again for saving them twice. Then Balarosa introduces herself. She is a knight from the Kingdom of Clyrode. Next to her is a muscular woman named Blossom. She honed her strength by farming in her village and became a heavyweight fighter. Then Bilary introduces herself. She usually takes care of the royal horses, but somehow ended up as a knight. Lastly, there is a witch named Belano who specializes in defensive magic. On behalf of the others, Balarosa requests that Fleo train them in combat. Balarosa explains that previously, the hero's troops were massacred by the Psycho Bears, and the hero was furious and locked himself in the castle until a strong force could become his right hand. The king then ordered the knights to dedicate themselves to fighting until they could kill a Psycho Bear. In their current state, even with all four of them together, they couldn't defeat a single Psycho Bear. That's why they want Fleo to train them. In his heart, Fleo doesn't understand how his magic works. He couldn't possibly explain it to Balarosa and her friends. Suddenly, Fenris emits a terrifying aura. She is furious with the knights, considering them shameless. Seeing this, Fleo then tells them that Fenris is actually his wife. Therefore, Fleo wants to live a peaceful life with his wife. Fenris's face turns bright red. Balarosa and her companions also feel uneasy, realizing they would just be a nuisance. Fenris was now in a very good mood, and she suddenly allowed Fleo to train Balarosa and her companions in combat. Fenris believed that her husband was a kind person who wouldn't ignore people in need. Fleo was silent, confused by Fenris's behavior. Reluctantly, Fleo agreed to the knight's request. Balarosa and the others also asked for permission to stay in the house, as it was very dangerous to camp outside. Fenris immediately agreed, as the house had several rooms, and of course, Fenris wanted to share a room with Fleo. Fleo could only accept the situation. Towards the end of the episode, a demon named Euliminus reported to the Demon Lord about the destruction of Fengarel's troops in the Delaveza forest. She received information that the purification magic was not the work of the Clyrode Kingdom, but rather an individual's action. The Demon Lord was very curious about this person who could use such powerful magic alone, capable of annihilating the Demon Lord's troops in an instant. He then ordered Euliminus to capture that person by any means necessary.